finishing the tax return. So we've put in all of our taxpayer, their information, their source documents. And the good thing with most of these credits, the non-refundable, refundable credits, TaxSlayer has already factored in a lot of those credit amounts for us, like the earned income credit. That has already been factored in once we've put in taxpayers' spouse information, their dependent information, their income. TaxSlayer is going to let us know what that earned income credit is, as well as the child tax credit, the additional child tax credit, the refundable, the non-refundable component. Once we've entered those source documents, TaxSlayer is doing the calculations for us. So we're finishing up the return. And so once we've input all of that information, we're now trying to see, does the taxpayer have a refund, which is known as an overpayment, or do they have a balance due? So a refund is payments that may exceed the amount of the tax liability. The amount of the overpayment is shown on the applicable line in the refund section of the Form 1040. A balance due means the tax liability exceeds the payments made. The amount owed appears in the amount you owe section of the Form 1040. This is the amount the taxpayer must pay to the IRS. So they're not making any payments to us at our tax site. We can offer them options of how they can make their payments, but this is actually a payment that is made to the Internal Revenue Service, the Department of the Treasury. So if a client has a refund and if they have selected on that intake sheet, they have the options of applying any portion of their overpayment to the following tax year. So we talked about that. So that then becomes an estimated tax payment for the next tax year. They can receive all or part of their refund using direct deposit. So they are able to pick up to 3 bank accounts. Or they can receive all or part of their refund as a check. So when it comes to these direct deposit amounts, on here we do need some type of documentation that shows that bank routing and account number. A lot of people bank online, so we're able to look at their phone. They can pull that information up on their phone where we can look at it. Hopefully they have it written down somewhere. A voided check, maybe a bank letter from their branch that will have their routing account information on there. Again, these are people can do like their Cash App, their Chimes, PayPal's. A lot of those accounts have a bank routing account number associated with it on there. So we will need to see that information because we definitely do not want it to go to the incorrect bank account. We need it going to the appropriate account. So we want to look at that information. Again, they have the option of receiving their refund as a check, a paper check. So that means the IRS will send that out to them. The difference between a paper check and a direct deposit is possibly about just a week difference. Typically, individuals, normal processing times, if there are no issues with the tax return, they may receive their refund as a direct deposit within about 21 days. So about 3 weeks that it has been accepted from the IRS, when it has been accepted up into receiving that refund. About 4 weeks to receive their refund as a paper check. Also, they can receive their refund. They can purchase the Series I savings bonds. So they can purchase savings bonds as well, and that is an incentive that we actually have with our VITA program. Individuals that purchase a savings bonds, they receive like a little a gift card from us, so some type of incentive from us. Now, I have a special note on here at the bottom that it says refunds can be reduced if state taxes owed, child support is owed, federal debts. Right now, we have a pause on student loans on there, so we're just going to notate that as prior years prior to 2020 as of right now. So with these refunds, if there's a state tax, maybe someone moved to Texas from another state that actually had to file a state return, they're delinquent on their child support payments or federal debts. So it could be maybe they owe for a previous year with the IRS, or it could be other federal debts, such as maybe overpayment on unemployment that needs to be paid back, Social Security benefits. Those would be some additional federal debts. If those have been registered or notated with the IRS and an individual receives a refund, that refund could be offset. So that means up to all of that refund could be applied to those amounts due. We don't know what it was applied to. Typically, if a person hasn't received their refund in the designated time frame, we can check the irs.gov, where's my refund, and it will let us know that it has been offset. It still will not let us know what it has been offset to, but they will provide a number that the taxpayer can call and get some additional information about that. So for the balance due, there are some options for the taxpayer. They can make that payment, pay that amount due by check or money order, submit it with a Form 1040V. This is a payment voucher. So this actually prints out with the tax return for individuals that have a balance due. They can do electronic funds withdrawal. So this is something that we're able to input into TaxSlayer. If they want the IRS to take their payment out of a bank account, we can put in their bank routing account information. That's the only way that we can do a direct debit is with bank routing and account information. They can pay the payment due with a credit card or debit card. That is not something that we facilitate at the tax site, but we can direct them to the irs.gov, and on there it will have an option for credit card and debit card payments, and just letting them know that there are fees that apply to use a debit card or credit card. There's typically like 3 servicers that will take those payments, that credit card or debit card, either over the phone or online, and it's the servicer that is charging their convenience fee on there. There's another system called the EFTPS, the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System. This is something that a person will have to actually register and create an account to make those payments. So this actually takes a while to set up this account. It takes a while to set up an account for the EFTPS on there. There's also the IRS Direct Pay. That is also found on the irs.gov website under the Payments tab. So the direct pay means individuals are making a payment with their bank routing or account information. There's no charge. I believe the direct pay now will have a history of the payments, but I would still recommend or remind taxpayers to save a copy of the payment receipt. When you're saving your tax records, you want to make sure you're also saving a copy of those payment records as well. And then some of those individuals where they're not able to pay that full amount, that amount due in full, I do try to recommend them to pay as much as they can by April the 15th. And then they can make installments. So the IRS does have an installment agreement plan for taxpayers. Typically the max term for a basic installment agreement is, I believe it is 6 years on there that they can make it. And so there is a form that is within TaxSlayer that can be completed with the tax return for the installment agreement, or they can wait until they receive a notice from the IRS, or actually go to the irs.gov and complete that installment agreement information.